What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some new news concerning Floyd Money Mayweather. You know, by request, that's so smart, George, right? Friends of the channel, subscriber of the channel. He wanted me to do a video on Floyd Mayweather, the differences between Prettyboy and Money Mayweather. Well, the difference between the two. First off, let me start off by I'm not a fan of Floyd Money Mayweather. I am a fan, or I was a fan, of Prettyboy Floyd Mayweather. Okay? Prettyboy Floyd Mayweather was that particular guy that had the potential, that was hungry, that wanted legacy, that wanted to fight the best. Okay? The money wasn't necessarily what it was because the objectives were different. Okay? First off, you had 18 people in one house at one time where he lived. He lived with his mom. His father was in jail most of his adolescence to teenage years. The only thing he did was eat, sleep, breathe, boxing. Did he go to school? Not so much. Boxing was his school. He knew if I boxed, if I become a good enough boxer, I can box my way out. Okay? I could box my way out of this situation, help my family. And that's exactly what he did. He did have help from Roger Mayweather. There were times when he considered selling drugs with friends. Needless to say, those friends are dead, no longer with us, you know. He didn't go down that route. Thank God he didn't. He kept up this path. He started beating people. More people, you know. Prospect, then contender. Then he beat Gennaro Hernandez, right? Now, when he beat him and he became a champion, he took off from there. You could tell he had potential. Prettyboy Floyd Mayweather was quick, fast, aggressive. You know, he used the shell defense and he tweaked it. He had a different type. A lot of people use the shell defense, but no one really did it like him. He knew what to do. Now, did he get hit? Yes. Prettyboy Floyd did get hit. Okay? So, because you're going to get hit from the, you know, with the risk of throwing more punches and many punches. Some punches will get to you, and that's what happened to Floyd. A lot of punches? No. Enough? Okay, sure. Right? But the fights were exciting. He beat guys and made them look bad doing so. Okay? A fighter that he really raised the bar. 130 pounds, unification fight. January 20th, 2001. Diego Chico Corrales. Okay? He beat Corrales. He beat him like Corrales was a prospect. Okay? I thought that fight was going to be a lot better than it was. I was fooled. I was shook. Right? I was in like, what the hell? I knew then, this guy here is more than meets the eye. This guy here is more than the champion. This particular guy is going to be one of the greats that we have in the sport. And he kept doing that weight class after weight class, okay? And he did that. And at 130, though, people seeing what he did to Diego Corrales, I think that scared a lot of people, being Prettyboy, you know? And honestly, I think it shouldn't even have been Prettyboy. It should have been Punisher, because he used to punish people. You know, Angel Manfredi stopped him in 2 rounds. Now, they argued that fight was stopped. I've seen it many a times, you know, but it's up to the ref's discretion, okay? It's a ref decision. And Manfredi wouldn't have won that fight. Okay. And he wouldn't have won that fight. And but you know, Angel Manfredi just stopped Arturo Gatti with one hand. You know, Manfredi was the truth back then. He was a hell of a fighter. He had a mouthpiece on him. He was daring. He dared to be great, but he was nothing to Floyd Prettyboy Mayweather. Okay. Unfortunately, Prettyboy was too good. You know what I'm saying? He was too good of a champion because he couldn't get fights with guys like Sugar Shane Mosley because they were looking at Prettyboy like, no, he doesn't hold a big enough name, right? Not saying that they think they couldn't beat him because I think Sugar Shane Mosley was the best lightweight ever, okay, to lace up. But no one really wanted him like that. You had too many people. The problem with Prettyboy Floyd, he was in a pool of people, okay? He was in a pool of sharks. Damn that, sharks. These guys were, think about it, Roy Jones Jr., brilliant, all-time great. Sugar Shane Mosley, Felix Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya. Man, who else did you have back then? David Reed, Fernando Vargas, Ike Corte. You had, and all these fighters were undefeated, okay? Every one of them. And not to mention, you still had Tyson and guys like that, and you know, and people that were, he was overshadowed, okay? He couldn't get fights with Barrera and Morales, okay? They wouldn't fight him. Prince Asim Ahmed would not fight him. He was frozen out of the opportunities to fight these guys that were his size, mind you. Floyd was 130. He started at 125. Okay, he went up to 130. He was willing to come down, or at least a catchweight, to fight Prince Asim Ahmed. That ain't happening. Okay, that is not happening. You know, and what ended up happening, man, Floyd, over in time, Prettyboy Floyd started to die spiritually. Along with his hands. His hands were giving him problems, okay? He had bad hands. He had actually this knuckle was actually surgically taken out on his left hand. He has no knuckle there. He might have 8 or 9 knuckles in his hands, okay? So that was another factor that was going on with Prettyboy. So with Bob Arum had so many people like De La Hoya, like Arturo Gatti, like guys like that, okay? Floyd made a decision, okay? And the decision came from the fact, well, first of all, the decision was simple. Let me get out of my contract with Bob Arum because Bob Arum won't give me what I needed. He asked for $20 million to fight Oscar De La Hoya because Oscar De La Hoya was the shit, okay? Now, this is the De La Hoya that already had been beaten by Trinidad and Sugar Shane Mosley twice. But he was still the golden boy. People still loved him. He was still the cash cow, right? That was the person to beat, okay? He beat Gotti, and look how he did Gotti. He did Gotti terribly. I hate to watch that fight, but it happened, okay? Because I like Gotti. Gotti was I was a Gotti fan, you know? Blood and guts warrior. He beat the piss out of Gotti. He made Gotti look bad. Buddy McGirt was like, no more Gotti. No more Arturo. No more. He made that guy look bad. Okay? That's the type of talent he had. Now, after that, okay, but that was one step getting closer to Oscar. And he still couldn't do it through his promoter, so he left his promoter. Okay? And there are claims that Bob Arum still owes him money from the Arturo Gatti fight. A lot of people don't know that, but that's that. Okay. Then he goes on, buys himself out of his contract, gets the fight with Oscar De La Hoya, gets that $20 million guarantee against Oscar De La Hoya, beats Oscar De La Hoya, then boom, right? He turns into Money Mayweather. Okay? That's when he cocoons and comes out of that damn shell. All right? That's when Money Mayweather evolved. That, along with the help and counsel of Al Heyman, Floyd Prettyboy Mayweather was no more. Floyd Money Mayweather evolved, and then now it was all about money. Because when he wanted to fight these top fighters, Princess Ahmed, Barrera, Morales, these were top guys at smaller weight classes. Okay? Sugar Shane Mosley even. He couldn't fight these guys. They wouldn't fight him. They had their eyes set on something else, or they were reluctant to, due to his skill, speed, power, etc., etc. So he was like, fuck it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fight the person for the amount of money. Screw legacy. I want fortune. Screw fame. I want dollars. Okay? And that's exactly what he set out for. So he wouldn't fight anyone like Pacquiao for the legacy early on. No. He wanted to fight Marquez because he knew Marquez has a country behind him. Right? And when you, in matchmaking fights, Floyd realized, and he was taught, that you take two fighters from two different nationalities and you match them up because they know the nationalities are going to support nationalities, and you bring them two together. And he found that out. You know, needless to say, that wasn't the best fight that we could see. No. But he knew that fight will sell because it's all about dollars. So Floyd was like, screw the legacy, screw all the accolades of being the best. I know I was one of the best, so guess what? Damn that. They wouldn't show me. They wouldn't give me the opportunity. So the only opportunity that I'm going to make for myself is to make money. Then, as a fighter for his legacy started to drop simply because they knew he was only fighting people for the money. However, he did have good performances. It was small percentages of Prettyboy inside money. And he sometimes turned that shit up. Because it was almost like, if you see Floyd fighting, he's almost like he's fighting the smartest, easiest way to beat a fighter. He might jab you, use the ring, jab you, shoulder roll, counter with you, circle out, look at the damn time to see how much time he has, just like he did with Andre Berto, his last professional fight. That's no different from the other fighters, except the other fighters were trying to knock him out. And he had some tough fights here and there. Miguel Cotto was a tough fight. Big Money Mayweather. Canelo was not. Canelo was probably his best representation of money. But he was really, using the spirit of Prettyboy. You know what I mean? That was Prettyboy. You know what I mean? Because what he did was he's able to turn it on and turn it off. He sees what your skill set is. He learns you a couple rounds. Then he's going to play with you. He's going to do what he needs to do and find the easiest way to beat you. Not the best way. He ain't trying to do like he did with Gotti. He could have done that probably, but he ain't going to do that. But as doing that, he could risk getting caught himself. And that's another thing Floyd ain't trying to do. And Floyd Money Mayweather was all about not taking punishment. A person that has that mentality is a person that will not make an exciting fight. Okay? It ain't going to be rock'em sock'em robots with Floyd Money Mayweather. It really wasn't that with Prettyboy. Just Prettyboy was just so quick and precise with his punches and his counter punches that you couldn't do that anyway. He's going to make you look bad. He's going to launch on a left hook, triple up on a left hook, hit you with a right, left hook, right, uppercut, then right hand. He's going to make you look bad. Money Mayweather didn't do that. Money Mayweather was like, okay, I'm going to fight this guy, avoid exchanges, okay? I have fast reflexes. He always has fast reflexes. That's something he didn't lose. That's what kept him in the game above the rest. Okay? So, Canelo, Cotto was probably one of the best. Maidana 1 was pretty hard. In the second Maidana fight, he proved he could take a punch. Okay? And with Pacquiao, he did that solely for the money. And he knew with a fight like that, to that magnitude, he knew that the money was there. That's why he took the Pacquiao fight. Because knowing someone like Pacquiao, which is like number 2, right, under him. But until they fought, no one really knew. But Floyd knew, realistically, that Manny would have been a tougher fight earlier on, right? So he knew, okay, after Manny got knocked out, okay, I'm still fighting this guy. Even his father, hey, you fighting, Manny's scared. But Manny wasn't a tough fight for him. He just used his legs. Used his legs and counter with the right. Used the ring, right? Manny starts coming in to engage, tie him up. Boom. You know, easy way to make $300 million. So what does that mean for a fight fan? Not really exciting. But for him personally, he did it his way because he wanted to do it the easiest way. And I think a lot of the time, money evolved out of Prettyboy due to bitterness because he was not able to show his true talent with the people that he wanted to show it with when he wanted to do it. Okay? If he would have beat Princess Ahmed, there would be no rush to run through these weight classes like he did. He had to do it the hard way. Okay? Fighting Judah and Zab, Chop Corley, and, you know, all these fighters like that. You know, Sean Bay Mitchell. But he beat those guys easily. Okay? You know, Chop Corley did give him a little work. But, you know, he beat all those guys. Okay? And then it got to the point where it was, shit, I can't fight everyone because they won't let me anyway. I can beat these dudes because he knew in his heart he was the best. So there it was. He didn't really need to push for these hard fights, even though he knew later in his life that he possibly couldn't beat them. But why even fight them if they're not generating the revenue that he wants? Okay? So, you know, that's the comparison in a nutshell between Prettyboy and Money. Okay? And how these dudes differ, the way they thought was different. You know, the way they lived their life was different. Floyd's more seasoned now. He's not that dude he used to be, even when he was Prettyboy. He was a kid. He was just a kid. He was like Adrian Broner, still is. And this motherfucker's damn near 30 years old. So let that sink in. But people grow up at different times of their life, you know. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Prettyboy versus Money. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.